The story begins in the peaks of Romsdalen, where we see two hikers. One of them is a teenage girl named Nora who is climbing to the top of the mountain with her father. After reaching the top, her father Tideman asks her about the fairy tales, but she says, "I don't believe in these stories." Her father tells her that people don't believe in the existence of trolls, but he asks Nora to focus and see. Nora watches, and as the sunlight hits the mountains, three figures appear, which she is shocked to see. Tideman says they awake in the darkness and froze in the sunlight. 20 years later, on the Atlantic coast of Norway, a team of paleontologists, among them Nora, is searching for fossils. Dr. Secord goes to Nora and says they have been searching this area for 6 months but couldn't find anything. Suddenly Nora finds fossils of dinosaur teeth, and Professor Secord calls everybody to see. Excavation of the Hill of Dover to build a railway track continues, where some protesters stand with slogans of "Let the mountains live." Inside the mountain, the team detonates an explosion, and then when the workers go in to check, suddenly there is a loud noise and a giant unseen creature attacks everyone. Army gets the news of the Dover's incident and sends aircraft to reconnaissance the location. After approaching, they send images to headquarters, and the general asks to inform the Prime Minister. Defense Minister Frederick shows images and giant creatures' footprints to Prime Minister Barrett and tells her about the situation. After knowing the situation, Barrett asks her assistant Andreas to call geologists, archaeologists, and biologists for a brief meeting. While Nora's team celebrates their success, the army's chopper lands to escort Nora to Oslo. Andreas took her to the meeting room. Inside the room, some experts said that it might be a natural disaster. Sigrid interprets and gives them a recorded video of the incident and plays the video. Everybody watches the video, but Nora asks Sigrid to play again, and then they notice a giant creature human. Two elderly husband and wife notice that their dog is barking at someone, and suddenly everything in the house starts shaking. Both of them stay silent in the basement for fear of this creature, and after some time when they come out, they see that their house has been broken. Andreas tells Nora that another incident happened in Lesja, and they leave for Lesja. They meet Captain Chris, who tells them the giant creature came from the north and made its way into the valley. The tracks continued 2 miles south into the mountains, then come to a stop. Nora asks the couple, and the woman tells her that they did not see his appearance but heard his voice, which was very sad and crying. They fly to see the tracks and find nothing. Then Nora asks Chris and Andreas to visit her father. After they reach, her father comes out with a gun, but Nora calms him. She shows him a video of the incident. He calls the creatures trolls and tells them that they were never finished, and that while I was working on it, the government put me in an insane asylum because they don't want the truth to come out. Nora says that if these creatures were real, we would definitely get their DNA, these bones, and we would also know the reason for their extinction. They reach the place where the footprints ended, and when Nora's father is investigating, Nora sees the eye of the creature behind his father. A giant troll which is made of stones awakens, and the group runs to save their lives. They fly their chopper around the troll and send live video to headquarters, and everybody's shocked to see. Nora and co come back to the base, and Nora tells her father to stay quiet no matter what they ask. During the call, Nora's father becomes angry and says to Frederick, "If you had brains, you would not have dug in the hills of Devor, but we humans think of nothing but our own benefit." Nora asks the Prime Minister for more time, but Barrett says they don't have time and orders the military to handle the operation. Then Nora, Andreas, and Tideman decide to work together, and they request Chris to take them along. The army set their camp in the woods to kill the troll, and after waiting for a while, they see the troll coming toward them. General orders to open fire. Then the firing begins, and they launch missiles at the troll, but that doesn't matter to the troll. The troll then attacks them, and he picks up a soldier and eats him with its mouth open, which Tideman says he recognizes the human blood. They try to leave, but Tideman goes to the troll and tries to talk the troll calm down, but eventually, a tank opens fire at the troll. The troll moves and his tail hits Tideman. Nora runs toward her father and in his dying breath tells Nora about the royal palace, the king, and the house, and then he dies, and the troll also leaves there. They come back to the base, where Nora again talks to the high authorities and tells old people who used to ring bells in churches to scare away the trolls and the trolls to disappear, and they can also use this method. Frederick laughs and takes it as a fictional story, but Prime Minister Barrett gives her permission. The troll is moving toward Hamar, the daily park Hamar, where people are enjoying. Suddenly, they feel earth shaking and people run in panic. The troll reaches the park, while the team also arrives at their hanging bells to the helicopters. They circle the troll and start ringing the bells, which troll panics. When they try to get more closer, the troll attacks them, crushing the choppers. When the chopper starts to fall on the people, troll quickly grabs the helicopter, saving the lives of the people, crushes the helicopter in his hand, and leaves. The news spread across the world, and now the troll is moving toward Oslo. Nora talks privately to Prime Minister Barrett. Nora says, "We know it wasn't the desired outcome. We tried our best, because we saw the bells had an effect." Barrett says he is a threat and that must be stopped by force. Nora then starts to leave and Captain Chris comes to her saying you have done your best and if you need any help from me you can call me whenever you want, and Nora leaves. General brief that they barricade all roads from the north and evacuate people from Oslo. Frederick wants to use nuclear missiles and asks the Prime Minister for permission, and the general says it goes against everything. Andreas suggests Barrett not listen to their words, and when Frederick asks by what right is he sitting here, the Prime Minister asks Andreas to go out. Andreas gets up and walks out and leaves with Nora while the Prime Minister addresses the citizens to help the government fight this problem, and the Prime Minister orders the complete evacuation of the city. Nora studying her father's book and sees the word sending something about a gatekeeper, and eventually Andreas remembers Rikard Sinding, who is a chief officer of the royal palace. Nora makes a last-ditch effort to learn the truth about the creature. Tobias's notes lead them to the royal palace, where they meet the chief of court Rikard Sanding. Rikard leads them into the underground tunnel where they see the fossils of the trolls family. Rikard says the new modern age king kills all of the trolls, but one of them escapes and hides forever in the darkness. Here Nora finds out the troll is coming here for his family, for his home, and believes that her father was right. Then she uses UV light on the large skeleton and notices that light is their weakness and darkness is their power. They take a vehicle from the palace and load the head skeleton of the troll's family, and Nora calls Chris to ask for his help. Troll arrives in the city and starts wreaking havoc, seeing that Frederick says we have to put an end to it and the Prime Minister permits us to use the bombs. Andreas calls Sigrid, who tells them the army is going to use a nuclear bomb to destroy the troll, and Andreas asks her to hack the system. The duo drives the truck toward the troll to take him toward Eekberg, where Chris is applying the UV light to destroy the troll. Sigrid tries to hack the system, but access is denied and the jet aims the bomb on the troll, but on the second attempt Sigrid successfully hacks the system. Nora drives the truck and after seeing the skeleton troll becomes angry, and during the drive skeleton falls. The troll lifts up the skull, seeing it emotionally tries to keep it safe, but the skull falls and breaks. Enraged troll starts chasing the duo and they successfully reach Eekberg with the troll. They quickly turn on the UV lights and the troll's skin starts burning. On the other hand, Fredericks finds Sigrid hacks the system and orders to launch the bomb, but Sigrid punches him. Seeing the troll in pain, Nora runs saying it's wrong and turns off the lights. She then comes in front of him and tells him you've left this place, it is not for you. The troll listens to her, but the sun rises and the troll's body starts crumbling. He falls to the ground, turning his body into a small hill. Nora becomes emotional and hugs Andreas and gives it the name Troll Rock Hill, while everyone else rejoices. The Prime Minister reaches out and thanks Nora for proving her wrong, while Andreas resigns his job, saying to the Prime Minister he wants to be a writer. Then he asks Nora, do you think there are more like him in a cave deep beneath some mountains? And Nora just smiles. In the aftermath, something seems to emerge with a roar from the rubble inside the Dovre Mountain cave. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.